Right. Last week, we discussed about microorganisms and we just studied how to observe them because these microorganisms are very tiny and small. Therefore, we cannot see them using our naked eye. We just learn about that. We cannot them just using our naked eye because these microorganisms are really, really tiny, unicellular, and some are multicellular. And also we learn about the good and bad microorganisms, right? We learn about the good and bad microorganisms last day. So, and we learn how to observe them, and we learn how to create your own version of microscope to see the microorganisms. I hope you have tried. If not, just give a try because this is very important practical if you can do. Then we learn about the different categories and also the good organisms, bad organisms, and we learn how to produce yogurt, right? How to produce yogurt. We learned about that. And we can use lactobacillus for producing yogurt, and different tastes are based on the different microorganisms, right? Because if you use a different microorganism, it will be different taste. Cheese production and also some dairy product, not just cheese, not just yogurt, curd. So we all these dairy productions, we use these microorganisms. And also we learn about producing medicines like penicillin. Is a type of fungus. We are using mold type fungus for actually making penicillin. And just learn about how this penicillin and also sometimes we use fungus directly as a meal, but sometimes we are using that like yeast-like microorganisms, unicellular microorganisms in bakery products, buns, bread making, because it can make that soft. It can make that food soft because it's emitting carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is a gas. So what happens when the flour is mixed with these yeast? Yes, can you explain the process? What will happen after that? When you mix yeast and flour with water, what will happen? Sonali? Yeah?
It will blow up.
Yeah, it will draw. And due to its respiration and processes, it will emit carbon dioxide. It will release carbon dioxide, which is a gas. When it releases gas, and this is like a pulp, no? This flour mixture is like a pulp. But when it emits this gas, there will be air bubbles inside this mixture. There will be air bubbles. So when there are air bubbles, when you prepare bread, these air bubble remains. So what will happen ultimately? It will be more soft. It will be softer due to this. And also we learn about harmful microorganisms like, even corona, COVID-19 is a microorganism, it's a virus, and it can make us very sick and even destroy our food. Poisoning is another problem of bacteria and other harmful microorganisms. And we also learn about even mold is a medicine. This mold type fungus used as a medicine, penicillin. But the thing is, if it spread to our skin, it will definitely, or it will spread to food, it will poison it. And athlete foot is another thing. It's a fungus infection. And dandruff, it's a very common fungus infection, which gives some issues. Okay, today what we are going to do, we are going to revert back to our note. So this is grade 6, and now we are here. So let's see what we have discussed up to now. We learn about the environment, a different kind of environment, including man-made environment and including this natural environment. We learn about them. Then we learn about different things in the environment, living and non-living things. Living things are called special word. Can you remember that? There is a special word to recognize living things. What is that? Starting with letter O.
Organism.
Yes, organisms. Living things are called organisms. Okay. Next, we know, so main categories that we can see using our naked eye is plants and animals. Plant is living thing. Animals also, and including us, we are also belongs to that category. So those are living beings. But the thing is, still we learn about another category which is not visible to naked eye, but still living, that is microorganisms. And we learn about compound microscope as well. So simple microscope has only one lens, but the compound has two lenses. So it's two lenses, and it is using light as a source to look at these microorganisms. You can even buy a compound microscope to your home, but the thing is, it's unnecessary because the cost is high. But you can try to create your own compound microscope as I suggested. And other than growth, we discussed there are some other. And also, I think you can remember we learned about germination. What is germination? Germination. What is it? Yes, germination. Can you remember that?
No, sir.
No. Okay, let's explore back. Doesn't matter. We will learn this again and again until you all confirm this, right? Okay. So let's see a nice video about this germination. Germination basically related to seeds, right? Germination is related to seeds. Okay, let's go through this video quickly. I think this will remind you what is germination, right? This very small video, but this is like kind of animated and also is interactive video. Let's listen to this first.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so I think now it's about the germination process. We learn new words also. Now let's move to our note back again. Okay, this germination is only one page thing in your book. So germination on growth of the seed, you can see all the stages, the root and all these components. Then these leaves, right? So this is the process. And nutrition. So this is also very important factor to these living beings or organisms. Okay, now actually we have learned about few factors.
Yes, sir.
So what are they? The first thing is?
How does a being grow?
Yeah, the first thing is growth. So related to the organisms, first thing that we learn is growth. The second thing?
Germination.
Yeah, germination is also a part of growth. Okay, the second thing is nutrition, right? And also we learn about movements. So let's discuss next day. Okay, the first thing is growth. The second thing is germination is also part of growth, right? It's also germination of growth. Nutrition is the second thing, right? This is what I said. So plants can produce their food by themselves. Most green plants produce food within themselves. So that is called autotrophic plant. Autotrophic. What's the meaning of autotrophic? Yes, what's the meaning of autotrophic? What do you think?
Don't know.
Okay. Have you heard something called in Sinhala? Have you learned something called Swayam Poshi? Swayamposhi. Right. So that is what this autotrophic is, right? Autotrophic is basically it can produce the food by itself. It can produce the food by itself. So that is called autotrophic. In Sinhala, Swayamposhi. Taniyen yage kama hadagan. Right? So how this is done, Pute? The process is called photosynthesis. Autotrophic plants are producing food by using a process called photosynthesis. So autotrophic plants, autotrophic plants food කෑම හදාගන්න process එකට අපි නමක් කියනවා. That name is photosynthesis. Actually, what will happen? The plants will absorb carbon dioxide, and when the sunlight is present, it will convert the carbon dioxide into glucose, and also glucose is its meal, and also producing oxygen to the world. So, byproduct of this photosynthesis is oxygen. The main product, what is the main product? ප්‍රධානවම හැදෙන්නේ මොකද්ද පුතේ? ඉස්සලම හැදෙන්නේ. The first product of the photosynthesis is, need to remember this, the first product of the photosynthesis is glucose, right? The first product of photosynthesis is glucose. A byproduct of photosynthesis is oxygen, which we need to breathe. Right? The first product is glucose. Byproduct is O2, oxygen. Okay, then plants can do like that, but not the animals. Animals can't produce the food by themselves. So they are depending on others. They are depending on plants directly or indirectly. So these animals, they need plants to depend because they absorb food from these plants, either direct or indirectly. So if it is direct, so we call direct dependence, direct depending, or if it indirect, we call indirect depending. Anyway, so these are called heterotrophic. Animals are heterotrophic. Plants are, most of the green plants, autotrophic. But animals, heterotrophic. Heterotrophic means Vishama Poshi. In Sinhala, the heterotrophic. So if you have any difficulty in Pute, please write down, because sometimes you know the Sinhala wording, right? Autotrophic kila kiyanne. Autotrophic means Swayamposhi. Swayamposhi. Taniyemma kama hadagan. Autotrophic. Heterotrophic means Vishama Poshi. Heterotrophic කියන්නේ විෂම පෝෂි. එයාට තනියෙන් කෑම හදාගන්න බෑ. Heterotrophic කියන්නේ විෂම පෝෂි. එයාට තනියෙන් කෑම හදන්න බෑ. එයා අනිත් අය මත රඳා පවතින. So what is the process of creating food by these autotrophic plants? The process name is, come on. What is the process name used to produce the food? කොහොමද කෑම හදාගන්නේ ගස්? අනෙක් ගස් වලින් ඉල්ල යනවද? මොකද්ද වෙන්නේ? What is that process? Come on,
Photosynthesis.
Yes, photosynthesis. That process is called photosynthesis, right? That is how it produces its food. Those are autotrophic and using photosynthesis to produce food. Okay. So some animals directly depend on plants. Animals such as deer, cows, they eat plants. But animals such as tiger, lion, they eat flesh as the food. But they eat flesh as food. Animals like us, humans, what they take? Can humans take plants as food? Or cannot? So think about you. Can you eat plants? Can or cannot? Sanugi, Tisandi, Can you eat plants? Can't. Okay.
Can.
Can. You know, you eat a lot of plants, right? Because we depend on plants also. Can you eat flesh? Yes, we can eat that too. So sometimes you are not eating, that is your anyway. Some people, they decide not to eat flesh. Flesh kiyanne manshahara, mas varga, manshahara. Sometimes you have decided not to eat flesh, but sometimes it's not. Anyway, people or human can eat both plants and animals, right? Human can eat both plants and animals, right? So that is, I think, yes, we discuss about important facts for today. So the next thing that we are going to discuss is movement. And after that, respiration. Respiration and movement, I think we can do that next day. Diversity of animals, we have learned some topics, and then I think after 2 days we can finish the chapter. Next day, not the next day, week after next day, we can finish the chapter. Okay, Pute, then good night. See you all next week.
Good night, sir. Sweet dreams.
Good night, sir.
Thank you.